Hey YouTube, it's Petey Two Finger. Happy birthday to me. We're about to play the allowance game when I can get my way through this video. So, Gopti prepared some brownies for dessert. And we got General Tso's chicken, homemade General Tso's chicken coming up on the menu. That's the birthday tradition for me here. I bought a Strat for cheap. I got a cheap bullet Strat that looks in really good condition. Even all the strings are on it. And I'm going to sand it down and refinish that. So that's going to be a fun project here. Me trying to mod a cheap Strat into something, into a player guitar. There was another option. Yesterday was a weird day, and looking back at this year, like, yeah, we lost my mom. There was a lot of drama. There's stuff going on that I don't want to get into. I've had health issues, specifically a bone spur, and I tore something in my shoulder, which I don't know what that is, but it's a lot of pain on my left side, with addition to the back pain. So I was looking back lately. I was just like, this was really a bad year, and like so much negativity, and nothing good happened. And then I ran into on social media, there was like 6 people that wished me happy birthday, which is a record. Like, that's a lot for me. And I ran into a post from that I had never saw, that was from a guy, John Gallagher, and he's in a band, a new wave of British heavy metal band called Raven. Now, I saw Raven on this Electric Circus, which was Blackie Lawless and Wasp, and it was like Slayer, Raven, Wasp. The tickets were cheap, and I went to the show at the Aragon Ballroom, and Raven came out, and I at first I was like, what the fuck, at these Raven guys. This was in their athletic rock, in the middle of that Mind Over Metal. So they had on some real goofy spandex outfits, and but they won me over, and I've become a Raven fan. John Gallagher and his brother Mark of this Raven band. It's a trio, and they're kind of always replacing their drummer, and they'll come out with a new album, and they're getting up there now. But man, these guys can lay it down. They're they're great. They took Metallica out on Metallica's first big tour, and Raven was headlining, and they're still around. And John Gallagher he's a great guy. Like, he's really he's got the same old lady, and that's how I judge people. I like the company of people who've been in 20-year plus relationships. I just Those type of people are more interesting, and they have character. You know what I mean? I like that. And in the topsy-turvy world of rock, you're not going to find that as often as you would, say, in other vocation. That's just how I look at it. A guy like Tommy Lee, or any of those Motley Crue guys, that whole thing with the hair metal, with like objectifying women, I don't like that stuff. I really don't. So, besides all of that, I really like John Gallagher from Raven because we have a lot in common. As social media person, I see the stuff that he's championing, the stuff that he likes, and even though he's in that, like, his thing is that, like, thrash metal, he's not a nut job, like, out of control, self-serving, typical male type. He's a good guy. And he's got character. Anyway, John Gallagher from Raven listened to Semantical Nightmare, which is the name of this piece of music that I recorded in January. And I didn't see that I had sent him a link and said, please check this out and let me know what you think. And he listened to it and he said, it all sounds really good. All the guitar tones are great. It's all really good. And he said, specifically one song, which is my favorite piece, which is called Gray. He said it's so good. Something to that effect, so good, so great. I forget. I think it was so good, is what he said. And like the idea that when I was living in my car for a while, I was listening to a lot of Raven. I had bought some of those cassettes, and that I had seen them, and they were like touring musicians. They were professional, and how much they impressed me, and how I looked at these guys like rock stars. And that here, so many years later, I'm reading this guy listened to my song and he liked it. He said it was so good. That is happy birthday to me. That is what I need to hold in my mind when things get crazy in life and things aren't looking so up, you know. Like yesterday I had two kind of psychotic people coming at me. There was a crazy lady who liked every single thing I ever posted at this place. All like 3 seconds after, like it went on for about 40 minutes. This person liked every single thing I ever shared in a social group. And it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot. It's a lot of stuff. And did I tell you about the Craigslist deal? There was a guitar. I asked 3 questions about it, and then I gave the guy my number and said, can I come and take a look at it tomorrow? I got one message back that said yes. And I did more research. The bridge on the guitar was an Overlord of Music, which I had looked into it originally the first time I ever saw that bridge, and I made a thing in my mind like, Petey, don't forget, at some point in your life you're going to want to buy an instrument that has this bridge on it, and you can't. Because I looked into the bridge, and it's a piece of trash. It's Chinese garbage, and everything strips out on it, so it'll last you a little while, but it's not going to last more than a couple of years. So it's not worth spending your money on it. So I sent the guy an email and said, I'm no longer interested in the guitar, and the reason being is I sent you 2 emails, and in the one I asked 3 very specific questions about the guitar, and you didn't answer them. So a 1-word answer just isn't enough for me. And I said, but look at it this way, you're going to sell the guitar for $150, just not to me. Well, he came back cursing and swearing and kicking and screaming with a lot of stuff that didn't make sense. He was saying his daughter was sick and he had no insurance, and this is why he had to sell all of his guitars. He immediately said that I never sent him 2 messages. It was only 1, and I was lying, that I was a troll, and he wished me nothing but pain and suffering. Then he started calling my answering machine and speaking in reverse through a backwards box. So I don't know if that was some kind of a satanic spell he was chanting at me. Then I rebuke that. Whatever curse this guy put on me, I rebuke it. In the name of Jesus Christ. I rebuke thee, Satan. This Saftovui, this fucking guy. He had a band, very angry, very ugly guys in this band going back a few years that played a couple of shows around here in these small bars who will hire anyone to play. These type of shows where you see 4 guys on the stage and there's less people in the bar. And everything those guys ever did is posted on these YouTube channels with 0 likes and a bunch of thumbs downs on it, which tells me this guy's a troll. He showed up on my YouTube and he tried to dox me, tried to reveal the location where I live. So this is all like it's on my birthday. It's last night, but it's after 12 midnight. He called here at 2 a.m. So I had to take some steps. Needless to say, I did everything I could do, and I will pursue this matter further if this guy continues with his psychotic attack. So yeah, I had two crazy people coming at me last night. You know, I hate to keep flogging a dead horse about this, but I had all these health issues with this bone spur. It's really painful in my elbow, and then I tore some ligament or something in my shoulder. So my left side is all messed up. There was locusts, a flood. You all know the personal stuff that I went through this year. There's more looks like more of that, which I'm not going to be talking about. It's not directly me, but there's drama in the family. And it's not good. So yeah, yesterday was like, oh, there was a lot of stuff that came down on me. And then today, um, I found this Jerry Garcia band, 1990, and I just really enjoyed listening to that. And he's got a really talented Hammond B3 player. It's really good, and I love that. I love a guy who knows how to work on the drawbars, and there's all these tricks you can do with a B3. Um, and I love that stuff. So I was checking that out, and I was immediately looking at images of Jerry Garcia's guitars, which you've never done that. Type in Jerry Garcia's guitars and go down that rabbit hole. That guy had some good taste. I know when you see him, he's always got ice cream and fried chicken stains on his t-shirt, and he'll have some like gray sweat stained t-shirt, and it looks like he needs a shower. But when it came to his guitars, that guy had a lot of class. He really did. So that brought me through the rapture of good music into this dopamine release. And I read that comment from John Gallagher, and I was like, who am I kidding? This was a great year. I had so many people be nice to me or be complimentary because of the semantical nightmare. Now, I don't think that will ever happen for me again. I think that was just the sum of a momentum that I had created in the comment section and the hype of me talking about it and the new gear that I had kind of, over the period of about 3 years, I kept getting some new stuff thanks to Pink Jimmy Photon. So I'm going to be realistic about it and realize that, yeah, I can work however hard I want, but that was a fluke, that people being supportive and positive about my music. So don't ever expect that or take it for granted. But man, oh man, I'll tell you what, that really did make up for a lot. Was you guys being nice to me about Semantical Nightmare, giving it a shot, listening to it, and then saying nice things to me. That made my year. It made putting up with the loss of my mom and this physical stuff and whatever demon attacks, psychotic people coming at me at like literally at the same time. That was weird. There's a lot of weird stuff yesterday. So yeah, I bought a cheap Strat. I'm going to refinish that. I'm going to sand all the paint off and then paint it. And I bought parts for it because I'm going to change out the color scheme on it, and like there's a thing with the older Strats, they had an aluminum plate which went underneath the pick guard, and this was for insulation from already RFI, and they don't do that anymore. So I also got some aluminum tape where you tape out the swimming pool, the route, and then this way all the electronics are in a sealed Faraday cage, and you don't get that Luke, I'm your father when you're moving the guitar, and there's a sweet spot where if you stand with the guitar at the right angle, it will be silent, but if you move, it creates a 60 cycle hum. And like my American Standard Strat does that. And I know you can set it on certain pickup positions and use this humbucking mode or noise canceling mode. Um, and all I gotta say about that is that the tone changes, not for the better. There's something magical about single coil pickups, and that's. I'm not a humbucker fan. I really am for some things, like for certain things, yeah, humbuckers, you gotta have them and you use it. So it's that adage of like a painter and having all these different colors where the single coil thing is a legitimate thing, and that's so. I don't really know anything about cheap Stratocasters, Bullet, Affinity. I know the classic vintage or the vintage vibe ones are better. My thing was, can I get one for $30 to $50 and turn it into something playable that reasonably stays in tune, does that Strat thing in spades. So I may end up having to replace the pickups, which it's not that big of a deal. You can get Alnico pickups. You can get a good set of Alnico pickups, a pre-wired pickguard, for $34. So, and like, yeah, you could get maybe a set of Alnicos for about 20. Uh, so we have to see. I'm waiting on the thing coming and measuring out the poles of the pickups before I'm able to order some other things. But basically, if you want a preview of what I want to do, oh, here's the Jerry Garcia alligator guitar. Um, this one, I think it sold for. Look at that. What even is this? Is it a Strat? What's going on with this bridge and the tailpiece? What the heck? And this and that like, I love how they use these the plating on the other guitars. Like, see here, he's got this plate, and that reduces noise. Why this isn't a widely, and look here, is that for the MIDI? See that here, this is a MIDI pickup. Where does the MIDI plug in? Are those LEDs or momentary contact? I have so many questions. And look at this horrific skeleton badge. But yeah, I was looking at the Alembic page. I think this is called Altria or something, and it said, like, it's a line from one of his songs. Some things can be replaced, some things cannot. And boy, oh boy, these are some incredible electric guitars. Jerry Garcia really had, and they said his thing was this clean, crisp sound, which is a onboard preamp. That's how you get that. Now, I have this folder here, Yellow Strat. So here is some images of the idea, which is Malibu yellow, I guess you call it. Black trim, black knobs, blackout kit. It's got a chrome bar here. I think I ordered a gold bar. This one has a rosewood fingerboard. But, yeah, isn't that a beautiful instrument? I really like the look of that. So, Apex, here's a good screenshot. This one has just a maple, but I'm thinking I did get a Graphtec nut. It was $11, and I'm like, you know what? Why wouldn't I? That's like, I've got a set of locking tuners on another guitar that I don't play that I'm going to transfer. And this is all going to be stock. I might even just block it. But I ordered a decal. This headstock here is the larger headstock. I've got the smaller one coming, so that decal doesn't really work on the smaller headstock. At least I don't think. But I got a decal, and I'm going to be painting the headstock to match the body. I thought about painting it black. There's a thing with like more metal looking guitars where you'll see like Ibanez that has these yellow Strat looking guitars that will have all blacked out hardware on them, and I like that look, but I'm not in striper either. So, and I mean, I've already got a yellow guitar with a little black on it. So my initial idea, I saw a guitar someone had done where they took one of these black Strats and sprayed it yellow over it, and then sanded some of that off and distressed it. And man, did that look! It looked really cool with the black coming through in spots. It really looked like I was like, when I saw it, I was like that. That's where I got this idea. Was looking at a guitar on an auction site, and I saw it, and I was like, it just clicked all those boxes. And then when I took a look at this, I'm one of these guys I'm not brave enough to distress something. That being said, I remember a pedal that I had where I had painted it. I think it was a similar thing, and it fell face first. And I was building this pedal for somebody else, and I took it had all kinds of like it fell in the kitty litter box. It had stuff all stuck in the wet paint. So I took like 3 paper towels, poured thinner on it, and wiped off all the garbage. And when I wiped it off, it looked so cool that like that method. It had 3 different colors. It had the primer, it had black, and the yellow, I think it had. And it just, like I said, that I wish that I could get Strats for $30. I really do. I wish I could just do one, get another one, do one, get another one, turn them around and sell them. And just work this up until I can really do something unique. I've done cloning of refinished jobs. I've done the George Harrison Rocky. I did the Eric Clapton Crashicaster, and that stuff that I did turned out good. I also did an SG where I stripped it down and redid it gloss black for my kid. And I had always intended to do a clone of the Adrian Belew Mustang that is featured on the Twang Bar King album cover. It's kind of like a Mondrian. And I did a pedal. I painted a pedal with that same paint scheme, and man, it was a pain in the neck. Oh, it was such a pain in the neck. Which is why I'm doing it yellow. And my method, if you're curious, I sand it down using power tools I shoot it with rattle can primer. Then I do my color paint with acrylic paint that you get at Walmart. And then I shoot some kind of a poly clear over that. And that's it. All right, you guys, happy birthday to me. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. I got to go play the allowance game and I need to make a phone call. So I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much. And peace.